Good.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Great Lakes Volleyball Center just outside Chicago. This is the big one, a 62-team, 3-day beast of a tournament, the 2025 VLA Cup. A new format this year on the men's side, a 44-team single-elimination gauntlet bracket that has come down to this. A crosstown matchup between the number 1 seeded Chicago ICEMEN and the number 39 seed, one of our newest VLA franchises, the Windy City Wizards. With former VLA champion Chandler North, my name's Rob St. Clair. Pleased to bring you the 2025 Men's Volleyball League of America VLA Cup Final. A huge matchup. The Chicago ICEMEN come in already with the best start to a season in league history, a perfect 17-0. Coming into this final match. They already won the North Division Cup tournament this year, went a perfect 8-0 in regular season play, but they feel like they're owed one in the VLA Cup tournament. Second in this event last year, third in this event back in 2023. And while they are officially undefeated in matches on the year, they did play an exhibition match against a brand new team out of Chicago in the western suburbs known as the Windy City Wizards. And the Wizards came into Chicago downtown and beat the ICEMEN in that exhibition match in 5. The Wizards, one of the newest teams in the league, but not without familiarity with the VLA format and culture and energy. Pasquale Fiducia leads them at the setter position, who's set for Team Pineapple for years. And their workhorse on offense for the Wizards is former ICEMEN outside hitter Matt Slavinsky, who really was one of several, but the lead guy to put the Wizards on his shoulders in back-to-back 5-set banger matches over the Milwaukee Gold in the round of 8 and the River City Flow, last year's VLA Cup champions, in the semifinals. So Chandler, well, what a treat we have here. Chicago crosstown rivalry. These teams know each other really well. There's a lot of overlap, but the old versus the new, in a way, is a really cool storyline. The ICEMEN been in the league since the beginning, one of the founding 5 franchises. If you've watched VLA volleyball very much, you know this team. How would you describe them? What identifies the ICEMEN to you?
Yeah, a couple things. The Chicago ICEMEN, first and foremost, are the gold standard. I mean, they just have this winning culture with their vets that had historically been known for their size and their block. But now I think what defines this group here this weekend and this year is that winning culture. They have the character, the resolve. They know what it takes to win deep matches, deep in weekends. So just all the kudos to their attitude, energy, their togetherness, because it's what sets them apart from other teams.
And the ICEMEN are missing a handful of the starters and the workhorses that have carried them to this 17-0 start in the season and winning the North Division Cup. Dave Hancock out with a minor knee injury, just a precaution. Scott Sawicki, Kyle Overby both unavailable, and setter Sunil Thomas, if at all, would be available off the bench. And in the absence of those guys, talk about the performance that Griffin Shields put up in that 5-set win in the semifinals over the Austin Jam. It was really something to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned those guys, and the biggest impact it has is just the size. And then in the out-of-system situations and just the garbage taking out, as well as just physicality that the ICEMEN tend to play with, that load was almost exclusively on Griffin Shields' shoulders. So altogether, he took down everything that was needed when the moment came due. So very fun to watch him play, specifically his play in that semifinal.
And on the Windy City Wizards side, we talked about the 2 5-setters they had to go through to get here. As one of the newest teams in the league, they really did go through a gauntlet. What sticks out to you to help describe a team that really is new to this level? This is their first major tournament.
Yeah, I mean, a couple things about Windy City. So first and foremost is their fearlessness. There's some aura or confidence about these young guys, a delusional confidence, and gives them the ability to hit brave swings and brave serves. And I think secondly, like number 1 through number 14 or 15 guys on the bench, they bring the most energy, the most wantedness. So when it comes down and you're tired, or there's that scrappy little play that's like an inch out of reach, there's something about the Windy City Wizards and the energy they've brought that has pushed them over the top, especially found in those 5-set matches. Just that one extra play that the other team wasn't able to make, and that energy, not just from the 6 guys on the floor, but from everyone on that bench, it's contagious. So they've been very fun to watch here so far this weekend.
A brilliant job done by head coach and program founder Nick Cook out of Future Volleyball Club in the western Chicago suburb of Wheaton to put such a great group together and to do it so fast, because something we talk about a lot, Chandler, is the learning curve that it takes to succeed at the VLA level, and in tournaments like this format in particular, they are long, they grind you down, you need depth, you need sustainable energy, and this Windy City Wizards team kind of doesn't know any better than to be here and think that they have a very real chance to win this tournament, and they absolutely do.
Yeah, although they're young, it's not an inexperienced thing. You mentioned it earlier, but they've been here, whether they've been physically playing in Tier 1 matches
or just
surrounded
fans. By it.
They've
right.
been around it for so long, for many years, that they have a look and feel where they know what it takes from even just watching it over the time of the league.
Starting lineups are in, just about ready for the match. Best 3 out of 5 sets to hand out the 2025 VLA Cup trophy. On the Chicago ICEMEN side, Rich Hoff, Ethan Klosak at outside hitters, Parker Swartz, Zach Bultice in the middles, Griffin Shields at opposite, Jack McGuire will be the setter, and Colin Merck, the libero. We will get to the Wizards lineup in just a moment. Chicago in white and light blue, the Icemen serving on the near side with an ace serve to get this final underway by Parker Swartz, the middle blocker out of Ball State, tagging the baseline with that hybrid serve.
Pumping up the crowd with it, too. He knew he had it.
Pretty good crowd on hand as well. We mentioned there were 62 teams, men's and women's combined, that played in this 3-day tournament. Many of them have stuck around for this match. The Wizards in purple receiving on the far side. And an excellent run. Luis Zavala, 6'4", number 15 in purple out of Augustana, gets the delivery from Fiducia in the middle. Rest of the Wizards starting lineup: George Coogan at opposite, Pasquale Fiducia at setter, Matt Slavinsky, Ben Harrington on the outsides, Josh Warehouser, Luis Zavala in the middles, and Kyle Vasquez in black at libero. Wow, what a one-on-one block move by George Coogan, formerly of the Chicago Swede. He's got some Tier 1 experience. That was a massive move by number 1 in purple.
And I love it so much. Everyone from the bench bringing the energy. And the other thing you notice early in those first points, the middles from ICEMEN hedging to the left side primary attack, and then the full commit middle from Wizards.
Where does Fiducia go with this free ball chance? Oh, wow, almost free ball almost scored. Confused Vasquez. Now McGuire in the front court to Klosak out of the back row, blocked, covered, and underneath the net and rejected. Another big storyline here is the play of Jack McGuire, played outstanding to help the Icemen win the North Division Cup. But this is an emotional matchup for him. He's very familiar with Future Volleyball Club, a lot of former teammates and good friends on the other side of the net right now. How does he attack the running of the Icemen offense mentally in this match?
What a serve.
Great serve. Griffin Shields' first look out of the back row. He had almost no chance.
I think that's the right call.
And he's able to bait Ben Harrington, the Wizards blocker, into the net to get the Icemen out of that tough situation.
Man, taking out the garbage. He saved a scramble ball. A phenomenal serve there.
I will say, Chandler, I've watched Griffin Shields play a lot of volleyball in his career. I don't know if I've ever seen it better than in that semifinal 5-setter against the Austin Jam. Here he is again out of system against 2 blockers. Driven deep, Slavinsky runs it down. Coogan slowed down. Left side's out of the play. Shields again against the one-on-one is dug by Fiducia. Scramble play. Hoff takes a rip at it on the left side. Wants the fingertips. None found.
It's a brave swing, though.
Yes, it is.
It'll pay dividends down the road when you get a couple reps like that.
Another guy who's had a big impact on this tournament for the Chicago Icemen, Rich Hoff, number 6 in white and blue out of George Mason. Part of a really concerted effort for the Icemen to get younger. In his first VLA season, he has been terrific. Good service pressure there by Harrington. And Slavinsky takes care of that ball, sent over the net right in his wheelhouse. Hoff couldn't keep it alive. Excellent start for the Windy City Wizards, 5-2 in this first of our potentially 5 sets to hand out the VLA Cup trophy. Excellent pass by Colin Merck as usual, and an overset ball. McGuire tried to feed it to Zach Bultice on the gap set, a little bit too high, out of bounds, no touch.
That one hurts. Get in rhythm, you finally get ahead in a point with a good pass where all hitters are in rhythm, just a misconnection. You know, you saw it here in warm-ups where it was almost like the Wizards had this confidence to them, stepping in on the floor, owning warm-ups. It was like they were at home or something, where these teams are both local, but they've already got that swagger going early.
It is pretty remarkable that out of 44 teams, the 2 teams we have in the final, both from Chicago land. Oh my goodness, what a block one-on-one. Louis Zavala staying in front of Zach Bultice, and an excellent read on the repeat set, Chandler. Sometimes that's the sort of thing that shows up in the scouting report.
Yeah, I think that's some familiarity on the other side of the net. The preference for middle, the preference to repeat, to get the feel of that set. Putting Jack under a little bit more pressure here on this side out.
Ben Harrington, the outside hitter out of Princeton, has had himself an outstanding tournament, but he lets the ICEMEN off the hook with the error there. 3 serving 7. First 4 sets in this match to 25 points. 5th set, if necessary, to 15 points. International substitution rules, only 6 per team per set. They serve Rich Hoff. That was vicious. Look at that right to left tail into the seam.
Not sure he caught it perfectly clean, because it
Sometimes-
also had that float slide to it.
Those are the nastiest ones.
Nasty.
Don't get hit perfectly. 2 in a row! Unbelievable rocket from the baseline. Rich Hoff makes Vasquez the victim this second time around.
Dude, I love his game so much.
Me too.
Like, brave, and although he gave 1 or 2 away early, like, being a top server, you can just always make up for it. Like, just get me back to the service line. I swear, guys, I'll net positive.
As we like to say, it's the only closed-chained skill in all of volleyball that you have full control over from the beginning into the end. That's serving the ball. Some players can really create the no momentum. Look at that fake out. Pasquale Fiducia pulls the rug underneath from the ICEMEN. Unbelievable fake. Seen a lot of that this year. I think Moni Nikolov of Long Beach State has made that move pretty popular, but he reaches quite a bit higher than Fiducia was. That was sweet.
You know, the broken ankles of volleyball. No one was close to it.
Zavala gives it back on the float service error. Pasquale Fiducia, Chandler, you said it right before we went live that you thought that was the best setting performance by Fiducia for the Wizards of any of the 4 teams that played in the semifinals this morning, and that's saying something. Tight pass.
Ready that time.
Dumps it down with 2 hands, knows the setter's in the backcourt. He is ready for it. And float service pressure for Zach Bultice pays dividends that time.
Yeah, you get to best-of-5 matches or just to this level of play in general, and the setting becomes so important. Like, having hitters in rhythm, having them to be confident and brave in tough situations, as well as just creating space. Defensively, these teams can take up so much space. So the setting performance, for sure, a big part as why they were able to advance.
Nice off-speed shot choice that time by Slavinsky, number 28 in purple, the outside hitter out of Carthage College. As is his opponent today, Griffin Shields, and former teammate. That Carthage battle from southeastern Wisconsin in Kenosha. Outstanding Division III program. Those 2 guys going to go at it all match long. Excellent scoop in the back row by Harrington. McGuire not super well controlled. Pursuit play is on. Ooh, Swartz creates some awkwardness on the Wizards side, and Slavinsky almost gets away with it off the tape. More confusion. Can Klosak put it away? Not yet. Tight for Fiducia, front court setter. Ball still alive. Swartz takes a rip. Gets the ball back to the ICEMEN side. Hoff out of the back row, stuffed and covered.
Backhand flippy.
Unbelievable rally. Free ball chance now
Set.
for Fiducia and the Wizards. Slavinsky off the block and out of bounds. One of the best rallies of the tournament, setting the tone here in the championship match.
Crowd felt that one. That was crazy.
Defense, scrambling, crazy out-of-system offense. Rally had a little bit of everything as Coogan.
Everyone needed to catch their breath
Yeah,
there.
a little bit. I don't hate that service error for all of our SIGs.
You know, a couple chances in that rally early, they kept it to be ahead in the point, and then after that happened, everyone just took a rip. Brave, confident, aggressive.
Griffin Shields terrific from the baseline all tournament. Look at that run. Harrington out of the back row. Rocketed off of Shields and no pursuit, able to bring it back. Beautiful offense by the Windy City Wizards.
Dude, Squally's grabbing that ball like 2 feet over the net. He's already got a dummy play that he for sure could have reached. Just nasty above the net play from a setter, opening everything up like that. Dude, sign me up.
Plenty more where that came from. Here is Matt Slavinsky.
Another beast at the service line.
2 errors in a row on the Wizards side.
You know, I watched the 5 setters from Wizards earlier this weekend. The sets they're winning, Slivs is going off on the service line. The sets they're losing, he's missing from the service line. It's like that's a big source of points for them. So first time around doesn't go his way.
Ethan Klosak puts some pressure on his former teammate. Ooh, Merck might have taken that dig away from Klosak, give the kill to Josh Warehouser in the middle.
How many straight passes is this where Squally's taking it above net? You almost have to commit middle or protect setter.
Pasquale Fiducia, only about 6'1" out of McKendree University, but one of the finest all-around athletes in the gym, especially in front court plays where he is right now. Perfect pass, Shields out of the back row.
There's your guy.
Ripped off the back shoulder of Harrington and out of play, and just like you said, Chandler, that's the guy. Practically I don't want to discount what the rest of the ICEMEN team is doing, but offensively speaking, pretty much a one-man carry job by Griffin Shields to get them to this point.
Yeah, and a one-on-one look there, too. A great delivery by Jack, opening up from the middle route as well from Parker.
Swartz started
Heavy
the match
hit.
off with an ace. Pushed all the way to the outside to Harrington, and the connection not quite perfect. Tips that ball out of bounds. Gives Swartz credit from the baseline there, and the ICEMEN are back within 1, 11 serving 12.
That's what it's going to take for a mishandle. Oh, my goodness.
Swartz with that nasty hybrid serve. Handled beautifully that time and ripped over the top of the block by Harrington.
Nasty pass and an even better swing over the top.
Princeton University is showing out this weekend. We had George Human, a monster opposite out of Princeton, formerly of the U.S. national team, playing in the semifinals for the Austin Jam. Great first tournament for them as well. Here is Fiducia. Beautiful scoop down the line by Vasquez. Counter-attack chance, and Merck not able to run it down. Nice high blast off the block by Harrington. What a dig.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about the performance offensively from Slivs as the other left side attack, but Harrington, my goodness, can they terminate. Like, good left side play is like a get out of jail free card. Like, you can get away with missed touches and just find ways to win sets that you don't belong winning because of how strong their play has been at left side.
Speaking of good left side play, great rip down the line by Rich Hoff there, who's now underneath this off speed shot. McGuire to Shields.
One-on-one.
Blasted cross court again. Like you said, Chandler, generating the one-on-one. That credit goes to the setter. Jack McGuire, 6'6", out of Dominican.
Nick's trying to coach up the defense there. Get a little bit more blocking resources. Help, please, at the net.
4 hitters against 3 blockers, almost always at this level. The math in favor of the offense is when the ball is passed well. Exhibit A right there. Zavala in the middle on the gap set.
Great run, great rhythm, the speed. The blockers saw it, but it's just too good. Row 1 here again.
That's right. It gave the ICEMEN some issues last time around with Harrington serving. Can you keep the pressure on? Beautiful pass by Merck as usual. Nice route in the middle, run to bull tice, but slowed down and dug. Slavinsky counterattack. What a coverage play, but not coming back. Outstanding block by Rich Hoff as Slavinsky goes chasing it down to the adjacent court.
The springs that Richie plays with just kind of makes him a deceptive blocker. The amount of times he gets like true legitimate house blocks too, very fun to watch.
This young man, Rich Hoff out of George Mason, has really exploded under the VLA scene in his first season.
With his best skill here.
A little underneath that ball. Wizards say thank you very much. Zavala back to the baseline.
Getting kind of to that point in this first set here. Can you push for separation, or is it going to get back to even? Over.
That is reaching over the net called against Slavinsky. McGuire, a back row setter, but still tall enough to get that ball while it was still fully on the ICEMEN side.
I think that was really well played by Jack, where
Agreed.
He made the contact early, where the ball was for sure not getting to the plane. Those tricks that smart setters can manipulate, you know?
Tall ones as well really helps. Fiducia to the middle, Warehouser dug. Shields gives it to Klosak. And he hits a smart shot and gets a good deflection off of it. Break point there generated on the serve of Bull Tice. something that we talked about a lot in our North Cup broadcast, Chandler, which the ICEMEN won, was their out-of-system offense, how comfortable and well-practiced the ICEMEN are in everybody stepping in to take the second ball and all their wing attackers making good decisions in high ball offense.
Yeah, that was a great decision. Usually they'll set it to the moon with making sure their big size can get up.
Ball blasted through a seam in the block by George Coogan to reestablish a 2-point lead for the Wizards.
Still got one chipped away there.
Beautiful pass by Klosak. Shields through the block, touched by Weyerhaeuser down on the Wizards side. Clean first ball side out.
Touch out of the middle. Still
Just
with his speed, he was almost able to get there.
Weyerhaeuser, a super impressive athlete, 6'7", number 22 in purple out of Lewis University.
Oh,
whoa!
Look out!
Moon ball from Harrington. That ball is still going up. Jokingly begging for the touch as that ball was underset, and the best he could do was pray for fingertips. None found. We're tied up at 17. This is where Shields can get hot and dangerous. Pretty good fight off there by Vasquez. Coogan is stuffed straight down. His former teammate Ethan Klosak shared the court for, I think, all 4 years at Dominican University in Chicago. The ICEMEN take the lead.
We talked about it being, it's getting pre-crunch time. The separation part of that first set.
Pre-crunch time, I like that. Yeah, about after point about 16 or 17, it starts to get real. Who can deliver in these moments? Good pass. Slavinsky tipped through the block of McGuire off of Swartz and out of bounds. And Slavinsky, in addition to being extremely explosive, has a full tool bag of shots.
Yeah, you've seen it on his Instagram and all his media,
yeah.
But how do you stop it? I don't know.
$18 apiece. Slavinsky chopped
Gotta
short.
have it.
Hoff is there. Shields out of the back row. Off the tape down the line and dug by Vasquez.
Left side,
Harrington
left
for the
side.
lead. Swinging for fingertips again. None found. Kind of a missed opportunity there for the Wizards off a pretty good defensive play. ICEMEN lead 19-18.
As adult players around the country, you go watch what these explosive D1 young athletes can do, and you're like, how am I supposed to compete with that? They play so aggressive and are going to give you one or two. You just got to be super clean.
Oh, okay. Net touch there against McGuire of the ICEMEN. Negates what looked like a joust win and a good dig by Shields, but we are tied up at 19 now.
Showing some love across the net there. Respect for the self-call, too.
Service substitution comes in Jared Moser, backup outside hitter out of North Central College. Good Division III program in nearby Naperville, number 7 in purple.
Which route will Parker choose here?
Decent pass by Hoff. Shields against 2 blockers. Is stuffed straight down. What a clamp by Ben Harrington.
Just a massive move.
Thunderous.
Chest above the net. Full reach. As Griffin falls just a touch out of rhythm on the set, going just a bit wide. He's able to get his left paw all over it. Phenomenal footwork and eye work to make it happen.
Wow, look at Moser torching the ball right off the bench. Joust won by Harrington, but now McGuire with a swipe, and Moser is there. Coogan for a 2-point lead is rejected by Hoff. Wow, the ICEMEN return the favor in a huge moment to reestablish the tie. Service substitution undone. What a tone both of these teams have set.
I think this is a really good row for ICEMEN here.
Parker Swartz is a very dangerous server.
Outside.
High ball to Harrington. Blocked by Bultice, covered and underneath the net. The ICEMEN retake the lead. Zach Bultice anchoring the double block. All from the service pressure by Parker Swartz. Talk about clutch from the baseline, man. No matter what team he plays for, what tournament, what event. The middle blocker out of Ball State with that funky 2-hand toss hybrid serve always has an impact on matches.
Can move both directions. It can slide straight sideways with the wrist away. It doesn't come off perfectly clean, so the movement's almost a knuckleball too. Surprised no timeout here. You gotta get organized in this row. It's been primarily left side attack.
The Wizards get away with it on the service error wide. Fiducia, the setter, back to the line.
I'm surprised by that decision, too, from the service line. Just making Harrington do everything with his best serve, moving to that sideline, can put a ton of pressure. You can stack your whole defense on it. Oh, boy.
Ooh, McGuire has to try and rescue it. He gives it right in Harrington's wheelhouse. The Wizards take the lead. Good float service pressure from Fiducia working down the line.
And this is a similar situation for the ICEMEN, too, on the side out here. It's primarily left side attack to side out here. You got to pass this ball a little bit higher, make Griffin do the long runs. So you're spread on both pins. Perfect pass.
Perfect pass is right. Klosak on an underset ball out of the back row. Hits it out of bounds. That is a crucial offensive mistake for the ICEMEN.
And no
23-21 and no timeout, Chandler. You are right. I am surprised as well. Shields is the guy for the ICEMEN in moments like this, and he delivers.
Defensively, how do you give that up? Primary shot from the primary attacker in a row they're constrained in. Maybe that's why there is no timeout off on the side out. You don't want the defense to get organized and big swing.
Massive moment right here. Rotation 1 receive for the Windy City Wizards. 2 side outs away from taking this first set. Jack McGuire will serve. Where do you lean here if you're the blocker? Left to Harrington?
I would serve there, try to bring him up forward.
Harrington right on cue is stuffed straight down by Hoff. Unbelievable move by number 6 in white. We're tied up at 23. No timeout coming from the Wizards.
The Wizards are just so fun to watch, man. They play so aggressive, like fearless. They've gotten got a couple times, but my God, are they fun.
Gotta hit hard to get blocked hard. Huge block by Hoff. Excellent float service pressure. Run to the middle to Zavala on the back one, underneath it and out of bounds. The Chicago ICEMEN have created a miniature run to set up set point. Now finally our first time out of the set. Windy City Wizards now with their backs against the wall.
All right, so you got rotation 1 side out. Do you trust George on the left side when he's matched up with then what's going to be Griffin Shields over there? So if you're ICEMEN defensively, you can probably leave the big, talented blocker of Shields one-on-one with a primarily right side attacker, George. It's not a middle preference, and they just misconnected. It's got to be Harrington, right? You either serve Slivs short and clamp out on Harrington, or you make him do everything. You serve him short, you make him handle the ball, you make him swing with the side out here. Again, it's an advantageous road defensively for ICEMEN. You don't need to be perfect on serve coming out of this timeout to put an extreme amount of pressure under the Wizards.
And that's what Jack McGuire was just doing or saying from the service line. Float serving Matt Slavinsky short, taking him away as an option on the BIC. And at that point, your blockers can lean to the left and go get Harrington. So is that the guy you want to serve out of the rotation, or do you do, like you said, make Harrington do all the work, but then potentially leave Slavinsky as an option out of the back row?
Yeah, those are the two, I think. And I think with how Slavinsky handled the last one, you can see he's passing at like 11-foot line.
Yeah, he's way up
and
there.
He brought his hands way down. Like it was borderline a lift if it dropped down a little bit more. I think I'd go back at Slivs.
McGuire out of the timeout for the set. Back to Slavinsky. Back to Harrington as we expected. Through the hands of the blocker Hoff, deflected and out of bounds, and we've got overtime. First to get 2 points clear takes the first set.
Great set there by Squally. The whole defense knows and was able to talk about it, but it was set with so much tempo that he couldn't get back out there to close. 1.5 blockers, swung right through.
Now it's the ICEMEN's turn to escape rotation 1. Shields straight over the block. Harrington is underneath it, and Coogan sends it over.
Good set.
Out of system swing, down the line, and missed out of bounds wide. Just barely pulled too far across the body of Shields, and now the Wizards have set point. 25-24. Does McGuire repeat and trust Shields again, or maybe back to Hoff on the right side against Slavinsky?
It's a really aggressive server. Again, surprised not a timeout just to break the rhythm because he can go back and tee off. Tim knows best. Got to trust him. He's 2 for 2.
Yeah, Faulkner knew exactly what was going to happen there. Serve missed out of bounds by Harrington. Now Hoff, who had those 2 aces in a row earlier.
Yeah, and I think this is a rotation. You get a little bit more aggressive. Primarily a phenomenal server, but also the multiple options that they can bring offensively.
Keeps that serve in play, working on Vasquez. Coogan stabbed at by Hoff. Beautiful one-handed dig. Now Klosak down the line off of Fiducia and out of play. How did he find that shot?
Dude, I've seen it on the grass a ton with the grass tape that he sneaks it right through. Just swings with so much range for a little guy. Undersized at this level at least. So fun to watch with that turn of the body.
Set point Iceman. I've said it for years for Klosak's career. Pound for pound, maybe the best player in the league at only about 6 feet tall. Out of bounds on the right side. No touch off the block of Klosak. George Coogan commits the hitting error, and the Chicago Icemen are on the board first in the VLA Cup final, 27-25 in overtime.
Yeah, we talked about it at the start of the broadcast. What makes these teams so good? I mean, you could see the explosiveness that the Wizards can play with, but when it gets so tight and tense like that and the extra points, there's something about the resolve and trust that the Icemen have being in practice every week, playing an entire season together that you just can't compare to. The ability to set in rhythm to each other under stressful situations in the transition there. Even though Griffin missed one by an inch, they all felt comfortable touching the ball down the stretch. Whereas I think that last swing by Coogan, just a moment out of rhythm, hesitated just a touch, and then the slight miss hand contact. Like, it wasn't that same fearlessness that I thought had separated the Wizards earlier. And then you go by what makes each of these teams so good, and the Icemen were able to keep theirs under that extreme stress, probably push them across the top in that first set. Any changes here you expect in set two?
That's an excellent question. Certainly not from the Icemen. We talked about some of the bodies that they're missing. Hancock, Overby, Sawicki, Thomas's status, not totally sure. But the Wizards absolutely do have options. However, you certainly can't go away from your wings. I think Coogan, Slavinsky, Harrington are going to be the guys, as is Fiducia. Maybe you mix up the middles for different skill sets and different feelings of energy, but other than that, I really do trust what Nick Cook has got cooking over there.
Yeah, they look pretty confident in the huddle too. They had a game plan. They came in, they had chances. They look confident over there.
And it is hard to do what the Windy City Wizards have done in this tournament. Their road from the 39th seed out of 44 teams to the final took down the Seattle Riptide, a Tier 1 victory over the Ohio Valley Unicorns, another Tier 1 victory over the Phoenix Ascension, a 5-set thriller over the Milwaukee Gold.
Insane match.
That was yesterday.
That was the peak of the tournament from that day yesterday, and the level of play that brought, especially the extra points in the fifth set.
Yeah, 21-19 I think it was. And then a 5-setter of the River City Flow, last year's VLA Cup champions this morning in the semifinals. Like, a path like that, a brand new team, which the Windy City Wizards are, does not get through a path like that without elite talent and a game plan. And that, I think, is where you have a couple guys that do have that VLA experience in Fiducia, Coogan, and Slavinsky comes up huge. But now their backs are against the wall again.
Yeah, and stamina is going to play a factor for them.
Sure.
Like, I can't believe they're holding up as well as they are. And the longer this match goes, the more I got to say it's advantage Icemen. So that first one slipping away, making this a longer task, harder task here for the Wizards. It's not undoable, but you just know here as you step into set two, the element of stress might kick in a little bit earlier because of the length of that battle.
Something I want us to keep an eye on in the second set and throughout the rest of this match, Chandler, is the middle blocker play. There wasn't a whole lot of offensive utilization on either side, but what ways do these middle blockers start to lean when they really start to download who the go-to guys are on the other side? In my opinion, Griffin Shields had too many one-on-ones that last game. You got to understand that that's the guy the Icemen want, especially after point 15 or so.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit of antsy feet.
No changes for either team that we see now as we start set number 2. The Windy City Wizards in purple on the near side, serving and having to face Griffin Shields once again with only one blocker up, the Icemen on the board first.
Zavala almost just gave it up, like a full commit elsewhere with the number of options that Icemen can bring, but you play percentages at this point.
Absolutely.
You say, where are they likely to go? Where are they going to be most effective? And you got to slow those down first.
Good dodge there by the Wizards receivers, letting that serve from Swartz go out of bounds. Here is Harrington.
You look at a team like Icemen that's so deep and so talented. Like, how am I going to beat them Well, if you let them play their plan A the whole time, you probably don't stand much of a chance. But if you're playing their plan B, get that much better of looks.
Beautiful scoop. Here's where you can create some chaos and make things interesting. Look at that by Jack McGuire. The
Big
vision.
grin on his face.
Yeah, huge smile on his face. Gets the better of his longtime teammate and friend and sometimes rival Matt Slavinsky. They played against each other in college, with each other at the VLA and USAV Nationals level.
Good serve. Slight mishandle.
Pushed all the way to the outside. Excellent coverage off the block by Shields. Now a free ball chance for the Icemen. McGuire to Shields. Another one-on-one, but Fiducia is there underneath it. Coogan slowed down. This will go to the middle. Fed quickly to Boltice. Excellent reaction by the Wizards blockers. Really tied, and look at that swipe. Off by Matt Slavinsky. Griffin Shields is asking if he was, in fact, the last one to touch that ball. He's not going to get the call because we have no way to review this, but I don't know if he's totally wrong about asking.
I would love to see that one back.
Yeah.
Just the way that Griffin, and the timing of when his hands got out of there versus the length of time that it appeared Slavinsky had held onto it. I mean, one, you watch Slavinsky play, a pro as a pro can be. I mean, if I can have high school kids and I'll be like, how do you get out of tough situations? How do you do the footwork to handle these things and make yourself bulletproof with many different things in the arsenal? So good there. Just that one was cheeky.
That one was that one stuck in the hands for a little while, and that time Slavinsky trying to grab the fingertips on his way out of bounds and misses long. So 3-2 Icemen for Rich Hoff. Another just quirk of this tournament at the Great Lakes Center in the western suburb of Aurora. The far side of the court, a little bit less room to serve than the near side of the court. So keep an eye on that for the Icemen spin servers on the side that they are right now. And that ball is right on the baseline. That creative middle route to Weyerhaeuser running along the net in front of the setter.
I love watching him play. He covers so much space, just flies around. He's a middle that you feel on the court at all times.
Middles having presence even when they don't necessarily have the ball is a huge thing. Beautiful delivery right there from McGuire to Klosak. Pays to have a tall setter who commands respect.
I would love to coach the Wizards middles, though, a little bit on how Jack runs the offense. He's getting so many one-on-ones for the Icemen.
Here is Boltice, another Division III product out of Carthage. Coogan ripped down the line. Beautiful inside-out action from number 1 in purple there.
And they're going to need that. I mean, Coogan provides the balance of both sides, both pins on the attack. And you saw the looks that they needed him to perform at the end of set 1. So it's great to get him that in-rhythm ball here early on in set 2.
Slavinsky against his former team unleashes one, but right into Merck's lap, and then Shields beats the block with speed cross court just inside of Weyerhaeuser.
Looking back at coach, what do I got to do differently? He's a good player. It's a good swing.
Tell your teammates not to serve the libero. That's one thing. You do not want to put the ball in Colin Merck's lap. Ace serve. Look at that by Griffin Shields. Tagged on the position 1 sideline.
Dude is just balling out.
I was saying earlier, Chandler, and I stand by it, I've watched Griffin Shields play a lot of volleyball. He's been playing at the VLA level for a long time after playing high-level ball professionally in Germany. Today might be the best volleyball I have ever seen him play. He has been dialed.
And clean, too, like as aggressive.
What a read by Parker Swartz. 1-on-1 against Slavinsky on the Bic. What a play by the Icemen middle blocker.
The baby, a little stare down, too.
I love it.
Smiles all afterwards, but that was cool.
7-4 Wizards. Shields keeps it going, puts some pressure on Slavinsky, but he's up to the task, and then Weyerhaeuser tucks that one inside the Icemen block. To use a football terminology, Chandler, volleyball very much won in the trenches. Serving a lot like pass rush, reception a lot like pass protection to put your quarterback in the best position. Ooh, setter dump attempted. Weyerhaeuser is there. This will be a free ball. Where does McGuire go? Hoff out of the back row, through the block of Zavala and down.
Dude, Jack's got these guys on skates. I mean, that block was fully leaning. they're not even pressed over the net. So by the time Richie gets the tee off, although they're making the read for where he's swinging, they're not taking up quite the space to get that block.
That serve just out of bounds by Klosak. I love the threat of the BIC that both teams have already established. They've got 4 really good BIC hitters in these 4 outside hitters between the 2 teams.
Yeah, it's setter play. The setting is so good.
And Pasquale Fiducia, and extremely fun to watch him after several years playing with Team Pineapple. Took a year or 2 away from volleyball, now back with the Windy City Wizards. That is a net violation against Swartz as he followed through. He disagrees. That might have been the ball to me, Chandler. I don't know exactly what cratered the net in the middle there, but the Wizards do take the point and they're back within 1.
I'm confused. I didn't see it.
I kind of am too.
Nasty!
Oh, somehow kept alive by Klosak. Hoff. That ball didn't touch anybody, I don't think. I think Hoff expected the joust. Coogan pulled his hands away, and nobody really pushed it through, and now we're tied up at 8. Maybe a lucky break by Fiducia to trickle over the tape like that. Excellent ball by Merck as usual. Shields. Now the Wizards block is there. That pancake play is made. Excellent work by Coogan, but now a free ball for the Icemen. Swartz blocked and covered. Hoff, very difficult angle. Nice high recycle shot into the block, gets it back. Shields all the way out to the line and blasted outside the blocker.
Get over there!
Chandler implores with the Wizards blockers. Now, you see they made the read earlier in the play. Inside out, Zavala got over there, but not in transition.
I'm just watching Jack and smiling. He's staring at the middle, like almost clapping at the middle. Go, 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 go. Knowing full-heartedly he's sending that ball back.
It is wonderful to see setters work their craft, manipulating opposing blockers. Another stop block by Rich Hoff. Man, if the Icemen were to go on and win this tournament, it would be very difficult to pick an MVP between Hoff and Shields. I think those 2 are the guys. And Tim Faulkner earlier, the captain of the Icemen, just gushed about the play of Rich Hoff this tournament.
Coogan is imploring that there's auto rotation somewhere, that there's been a different matchup in that side out. Look at them talk this over, figure it out. But I like that look. Whatever Iceman did, I like that look with Parker being able to serve that ball over to Slivs.
5-5, yeah.
Yeah, you got to flick it back. Now there's stress on Harrington. And he goes with the float.
Interesting. Big change in service strategy there. What a block one-on-one. Okay, maybe just put the ball in play and let your block defense go to work.
That was a great play by Slavinsky. I mean, he took up so much space.
Can't block one-on-one better than that. Get to a spot, dive a little bit inside of the cross court, and take up space. Tied up at 10. Look at that setting by Jack McGuire, manipulating the blockers. They're on their way down and can only look helplessly at Klosak flying in out of the back row.
I know they scored a point there on defense, but Harrington is so good from the service line. And there's an element of be who you are, be what got you here. I'm sure fatigue's playing a massive, massive factor, but anything they can do to still be them in the stress, teeing off like that,
ball is touched.
They're going to get the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, definitely off the fingertips of Hoff, called right away. Good work by our line judges.
All 3 refs had it. No doubting swing there. Just telling Squally something here. Maybe a moment of fatigue or something. Row 1.
Good call, Chandler. Rotation 1 received for the Icemen. Shields on the left, Hoff on the right. Bull ties tipped through the middle. Fiducia diving, can't quite get underneath it.
It's one of those tweener balls. He had the good read. Could he get it with the wedge, the platform, or does he have to go to the pancake and caught with in between one or the other, not quite able to make the play?
We'll take all the time we need to clean up the floor as Hoff prepares to serve.
They are passing from the 28-foot line, so deep, ready for heat.
Excellent ball in by Harrington. Weyerhaeuser dug by McGuire in the middle. Klosak takes the setter out of the play. Slavinsky against 2 blockers, swinging for the fences, wants fingertips, none found. Good defense by the Chicago Icemen right there. 13-11 the score, and the unforced error gives Rich Hoff another chance to heat up from the baseline.
Look at this serve-receive pattern. They're so close here in his primary spot. Vasquez starting way over on the sideline.
Another heater. Vasquez to Slavinsky out of system. Three-man block up in front. McGuire is there on the off-speed. Klosak inside. Got the deflection he wanted, but Harrington is there. Slavinsky again. Missed out of bounds, deep cross court. That was close. That was about a tile and a half wide of the sideline.
3 out of system looks for Slivs. 2 long wide. 1 he failed to pull trigger, and the defense was all over it. There's got to be more than Slivs here.
That's right. That out-of-system disparity and how comfortable these teams are is starting to show up just a little bit. Nice defense there by Hoff in position 6. Klosak blocked by Coogan. Excellent reach out to the line by George Coogan, and maybe a deflection off the tape helped confuse the Icemen and get the Wizards out of that rotation.
Good look by Iceman. Defense fully set. Good swing by Klosak. Swing with range. Chipped off the edge. Recyclable ball, unlucky with the tape. I mean, the process there is so right for Iceman.
Now a double substitution in for the Windy City Wizards. Sanchit Ketan, the backup setter, number 9, and Kuba Grigo, number 8, the lefty, in at opposite. That ball blasted out of bounds by Hoff. And Grigo, fresh off the bench, clapping it up, trying to get in the Icemen's ears a little bit as the Wizards are back within 1.
I like this move. Coogan hadn't been super clean or confident and fearless on the D-ball look, and they've done this move all weekend long, and it's been successful in the past. Just a front row option, bigger blocking, more options in transition.
Grigo with a pretty good touch.
Pearl.
Beautiful set by Ketan, but Merck makes the play all the way back to Shields, who gets his own rebound. Weyerhaeuser wins the joust, and the Icemen can't control it. What a reaction by number 22 in purple to chase that down.
Full tongue out on the celebration. These guys are just fun, man.
The energy is still high after 3 full days of grueling volleyball. 14 apiece. Back to Shields again. What a dig by
Packs
Ketan.
a lunch!
Welcome to the match. Digs one with his chest, and what a stuff block! Unbelievable move by Weyerhaeuser. The double sub for the Windy City Wizards has changed the energy of this championship match.
Weyerhaeuser is just so athletic and so fun to watch. Like, when he's there, when he gets it right, it is massive. That is straight down with the block.
Talked about middle blocker play, so I wanted to know if the Wizards could make an impact. Talk about impact.
A human highlight reel.
Wow! Speaking of middles making an impact, what a feed to Zach Boltice. Love that setting by Jack McGuire.
Dude, that's so confident, so ballsy, getting Boltice right in rhythm, beating him with speed after he just made a massive block like that. Ooh, so good.
Love it. Tied up at 15. Extremely competitive. Grigo, the lefty, is on the left side here. What a dig! Somehow reacted to, and then Weyerhaeuser can't quite take care of it. Shields to make him pay. Not yet.
Griffin.
Off to Shields. Weyerhaeuser not quite able to contain the block deflection. That defense on the Icemen side is ridiculous. I do not know how they stopped that kill from potential kill from Weyerhaeuser.
Libero got mixed up in defense, and Vasquez able to full scoop a ball there too. Just great play.
Pretty good scoop by Shields, sharp cross core. This is a very tricky play by Klosak, and he sends it out of bounds. The Icemen looking for a touch. I don't think they're going to get one. Tied up at 16.
I like that serving strategy though, working it over to Slavinsky. Hands primary and over to his right. Really hard to toss it back in front of the setter. Strictly fatigue.
Yeah, nothing held back on that one from Slavinsky, but that ball was not in the right place where he contacted it to hit it as hard as he did.
I've been there before, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's such a talented server. Perfect toss, perfect in rhythm. You're telling your body to go, 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 and the Jets just don't fire up.
One point Icemen lead. Here's Shields. Pretty good rescue by Kaitan, and Kuba Grigo off the bench, the lefty, puts it away. Excellent rescue by the backup Windy City setter.
They didn't get a look in set one, and so impressive here in set two. The defensive look, saving the ball there. Very well done.
Yeah, international substitution rules here in the VLA, so if Fiducia and Coogan come back in, which we presume that they will, then Kaitan and Grigo will be done for the set. Down the line and just out of bounds by Klosak. Terrific block setup by Grigo.
No need for that swing. I mean, he's got the blocker reaching. He can tap that in. Worst case, it's a recycle. More times than not, it's just a tool ball. I mean, he was looking at it the whole way and was committed to a shot and couldn't quite adjust in time.
Eyes got a little bit wide on that one. Repeat set. Excellent stab by Harrington.
He's got to look.
And that ball is still alive, but a free ball chance here for the Wizards. Grigo accelerates. What a stab by Merck, but that's still alive. Nice chase down by Hoff.
Dude, that ball's on the net. Swing at it, something.
That is out of bounds long. No, never mind. An overrule.
That's
a
not
touch.
Right. That's not right.
A touch. I did not see one either, Chandler.
That's to the side of Jack. He's going with the line judge on the call. Line judge is calling it off the block, too.
I did not see a touch in real time. I think that was separated from the block wide.
That's huge, too. 19-17.
That is a big break for the Windy City Wizards, 19-17.
A lot of times you get these moments. Chaos just happened. Timeout, some form of resolve.
Still going at Klosak in reception.
Trap ball.
Recycled into the block of Grigo. Now Klosak again. Wow, what an angle. Unbelievable time and place to find that angle with the ball coming over his shoulder like that.
Yeah.
Is that against one blocker?
Yeah, the block gave it up. But, I mean, the process of winning, you're somehow getting it to be the Klosak show there in front row. You can allocate your defense to it, and whatever reason, it got away from him there.
Nice block touch there against Zavala. Not a great organization in the scramble here, and a free ball chance for the Wizards. Wow, what a dig by Klosak. Wizards again. Harrington again. Not to be denied this time.
Chirp, 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 chirp.
Love it. What a great trip through the back row by Sanchit Kaitan. Kuba Grigo as well contributing on the right side as Fiducia and Coogan come back in. But I love the change that 6-2 substitution just brought for Nick Cook and the Windy City Wizards.
I also like Harrington's bounce back there. Look at fatigue in the back row. Gets front row. Now I got some energy again, coach.
Swartz through the block. Nice reaction by Zavala. Harrington
Fearless.
for a 3-point lead. Reacted to and sent over as a free ball. Big chance. Ripped down the line by Harrington.
Still screaming through the net.
Explosive in match number 6 of the weekend for the Wizards. 21-18, no timeout for the ICEMEN here. Fiducia working on Klosak. Nobody up against Shields. What a set by Jack McGuire, pulling Harrington in.
The Wizards just play so aggressive, just basically guessing on defense.
Total sellout, absolutely.
Anything to get that house block, you know? All right, so Harrington on Richie here in row 1 side out. Rich has had his number.
Yeah, this is the rotation where the ICEMEN really made the comeback late in set number 1. Good serving from Swartz as well. And that ball run to the middle, perfectly timed and placed. I love that setting from Pasquale Fiducia.
Undefendable.
Yep.
Great swing.
Credit to Zavala for finding a way to get back engaged in this match.
Their middle routes are fun to watch, too.
Yes,
I mean,
they are. Very
they're coming in
diverse.
horizontal. They're broad jumping both directions.
That's the future of modern middle attack offense. Run routes with deception and create space. Klosak takes advantage of the dive by Coogan, who couldn't quite keep that block touch contained. 2-point hole for Chicago now.
If I'm ICEMEN and just stay brave with fast arms, a lot of times, but Jack from a setting position as well as just defensively, their hands aren't fully set. Get on it quick. It'll be to your advantage more times than not.
Slavinsky off speed, well disguised. No chance for McGuire down the line. 23-20 now, rotation 1 receive on the ICEMEN side. The Wizards very much in the driver's seat right here. Float serve by Zavala working on Klosak. Zavala, the middle blocker, makes a play on defense. Slavinsky down the line pays it off.
360 fadeaway. Somersault roll after to finish.
Unbelievable.
This guy's an athlete.
Crazy athleticism on display. What a play on defense by the middle blocker Zavala. Set point Windy City Wizards in style.
They still got to get rich here.
It is not over yet, Chandler North. You said it. One of the most lethal servers in the tournament, Rich Hoff, might still have his fingerprints on this second set. Set point Wizards, 3 chances inside out.
Yeah, four good options here. You got to be aggressive.
And you got to go for it, like you said. Hoff underneath that ball. We are level. The Windy City Wizards respond 25-21. In set number 2, we are tied up in this VLA Cup Championship match at 1 set apiece.
How about the job done there by the 6-2 subs there? Like, my goodness, did they flip that set?
Totally.
It's been that critical part in both sets too, like the late teens, before crunch time, like where teams are separating or flipping the sets.
Pre-crunch time, like you called it. So Chandler, while we have a second as the teams change sides, get ready for set number 3. Talk to me about the new format that we've put into play this tournament this weekend. It's gotten bigger and bigger, especially on the men's side, 44 teams. The league deciding to go with single elimination from day 1. And obviously with plenty of consolation brackets and chances to continue playing volleyball if you get knocked out. But what do you think that format has done for this event this weekend?
Yeah, first and foremost, I love the format. I think it's absolutely the right thing for the league. 1, you can get exciting matches at any point in the weekend. And then 2, it creates this benefit to have played together, having chemistry for the whole season right away off the bat. If you show up and you flew in a couple guys to round out parts of your roster where you were insecure or had gaps, and you no longer have pool play to get the chemistry to get ready, it's the way the league should operate, and just super fun to be a fan of all weekend long, because you get exciting matchups within region, around the country, throughout all of the weekend. And at the end of the day here, you still get 2 of the best teams here ready to go down the stretch in the finals.
And it is remarkable. One of my favorite things about the VLA Cup is that we have teams from literally all over the country, coast to coast, from Boston to Southern California and Seattle and Atlanta and Texas and just everywhere you can imagine. But it just so happens that here in the western suburbs of Chicago, it's 2 Chicagoland teams that have made it to the final. The historical significance of whoever wins this match is really going to be ridiculous. The Windy City Wizards, from seed 39 in their first VLA Cup tournament ever, would be unprecedented if they were to take this down. And the Chicago ICEMEN feels like they've been knocking on the door of this tournament for years. Like I mentioned pre-game, 3rd place in 2023 and 2nd place, sorry, it was 2022 when they were knocked out by a certain Milwaukee Dive, as I recall, Chandler's team, and then 2nd place losing a 5-setter in the final to the River City Flow last year. So while the season is perfect to this point for the ICEMEN, 17-0, this one right here might be the one they want the most.
I almost think it's more than that too for the ICEMEN, because at the end of the day, the vets that they've had, they've left a legacy on the program that is just, you can't put a value to it. And although they're not all here today, like the impact they've had on this group here wouldn't be here without them. They've learned so much throughout this season from prior seasons that this is that full group of ICEMEN. So I think if ICEMEN are able to pull this out, there's this legacy cemented that it's going to go on beyond just what the vets have carried it to today.
Totally agree. The ICEMEN we call one of our founding 5 VLA franchises. They've been with the league from the beginning, all the way back. The league founded late 2019, just before the pandemic. The ICEMEN won the inaugural league championship. Just a one-weekend event in the early parts of the pandemic, the summer of 2020. They won the league championship again in 2021 in Orlando with Chandler North on the roster. The ICEMEN lost in the final the following year in 2022 to Team LVC out of upstate New York. The championship pedigree extends way back into history, even before the VLA, and now a chance to architect another piece of that history book.
No
that
way.
Ball is run down somehow, but runs out of room. That is effectively an ace serve for Parker Swartz to get us underway in set number 3.
Great serve, and just amazed at the stamina from Wizards. I mean, all guys just sprinting after it, not giving up on anything. Nasty.
Harrington getting a beat on that serve a little bit. Beautiful dig by Klosak through ICEMEN the block. Shields, cross court, pulls it out of bounds wide. Big break for the Wizards there, as again, they only had one blocker up on Griffin Shields.
I mean, sitting here watching ICEMEN from the semifinal, it's obvious I'm pointing to where they're going to set, but the defense isn't quite set on the far side. They're not making an adjustment. It worked to their advantage there. A sign of being human from Griffin in that look, but again, it's probably not something that's going to bear fruit or be the right percentages from a Wizards defensive standpoint in the long run.
Right, and with those one-on-ones, you might want to see Jack McGuire try and leave the ball a little bit further inside for Shields, as the Wizards get a free ball chance here. Tricky setting. Oh, that ball is inbounds right on the sideline. What a shot by George Coogan. And a little option ball by Slavinsky out of the back row.
So smooth. Just floats in the air. Arms cocked back, ready to go. Gives a nugget to the right side.
Another one of my favorite innovations in modern volleyball is when the setter takes the first contact and he tosses up a ball to the middle of the court to give that middle back outside hitter the option. Take a rip or jump set it.
I could see it expanding too. I think there's times where it could go to the middle,
I've seen
across court.
I've seen it.
It's only growing.
Shout out two-time Olympic MVP Irvin Ingapeth invented that play. That is a brick wall of a block by Griffin Shields. With Zach Bultice there as well.
Just a moment of hesitation from Coogan. I mean, it's a massive block in front of you. You could see some of the guys who've been there and handled that super stressful situation. They have something in their toolkit to get them out of that. Softer reset.
Ooh, that ball turned across body in the middle by Zavala and hit out of bounds.
Jack wants this ball as fast as he can get it. He's going to put that pressure on them quick here, not let them get set.
Wow, look at that float serve location. Ace serve, taking advantage of how far up in the court Slavinsky was trying to hand pass that ball. McGuire drops it right over his head and probably would have hit the baseline. And Coogan went crashing into the chair as he's flexing his leg. Such smart serving from Jack McGuire.
Yeah, I think the last one before it could have been called a lift too, like a little sticky on the palms.
Wow, look at that shoulder range by Harrington. Great dig by Merck. Free ball chance for the Wizards.
Grab it.
Not super well handled. That has to be a lift.
Come on!
We can't be letting that one play out. Shields terminates it anyway. Maybe I understand that Harrington was expecting there to be a joust play, but a ball that sticks in his hands that long cannot be allowed to continue. There is no way.
Crowd's going bonkers.
Crowd did not like that one. I love holding the whistle, not blowing it, but there's got to be a line somewhere. Ooh, little underset to the middle. Another chance in transition. Shields.
Touch wide.
Pretty good position 6 defense, but free ball chance here for the Icemen. 4 attackers available. Klosak, what a dig by Vasquez. Ooh, little confusion and another free ball chance. Hoff, blocked by Harrington and covered. Now Shields, rolled,
Nice.
2 touches, and it falls. My goodness, what a ridiculous point.
There's so much in there. Squally took a ball at the net where he's diving, full sprinting in, somehow manipulated his body from avoiding going under. After that, there's another free ball. Squally's asking the defense to allocate exclusively back to Griffin, trying to make the adjustment, coach the group to make ICEMEN beat him in a different way. There's like 2 recycle points, some crazy covers, like the things at the finest details that go into those crazy rallies and what it takes to win those crazy rallies. So fun to watch.
And they all happen so lightning fast.
Jack, frustrated. He wanted that ball in play. He's on a run. He's trying to get it going here.
He wants to go. He wants to capitalize on the fatigue that the Wizards might be feeling right now. Give me the ball. Let me put this float serve on Slavinsky again, which we assume is where he's going to go. This time handled by Vasquez. Harrington.
I think he got it.
He got it, yes. Great call, Chandler. Zach Bultice comes over and seals the net enough.
If I'm Wizards here, I need to find something different in rotation 1. Yeah, I like this timeout
Yeah,
here.
I agree.
So there's some teams that have an opposite that you can stack with and run around. You don't see it much at professional or Division 1 just because hitters are so diverse, and you need the pins having the full rhythm from a windup and approach. But when you're taking out Slavinsky here and Harrington isn't performing on the right side because the defense can get set, you need some way to open up Harrington so it's less of a block, because he's so hard to defend. It's really only been the block, or to have confidence setting the middle. You need to have more flavor in the recipe here to get out of row 1 more consistency.
Totally agree. I think it starts with the middle, with that being a more reliable and well-connected piece of things. And then Chandler, I don't remember, maybe you do, have they set Coogan on the left side a single ball in this match? I can't remember one.
Yeah, just out of trouble here. And I think out of this timeout, I'm going to be, if I'm ICEMEN here, I'm locked in on this middle route.
Absolutely.
I am not giving a clean look on a unique middle route. I feel comfortable under extreme stress with Richie going one-on-one and being big on Harrington, just with the success of this match so far.
This is very interesting. Jared Moser, number 7 in purple, is going to come in for Matt Slavinsky. The Wizards are down 8-2. Could this be already kind of a punt, given this hole, and just let Slavinsky get a breather to be ready for set number 4? Oh, get dunked on. Get that out of my house, says Rich Hoff.
I don't think it's a punt on the set. I think it's simply a breather. They're too good at this stage, this early, to give up on that. Anything can happen with runs and the explosiveness that they play with. But again, fatigue has to play factor here. You got to be smart here.
Serving the new guy, Moser. And there is a ball to Coogan on the left side, and he tools the ICEMEN block out of bounds. Maybe that can bring some confidence overall in that rotation for the Wizards.
Can somebody pass the ball with some height here? Squally's looking around. He's like, guys, you got me running everywhere.
Let me jump set, boys. Come on, let me do my thing. Nice fight off by Merck off the tape. Hoff against the one-on-one. Look at that crunch with the core to get over that ball and rip it cross court across his body.
Definitely his preferred shot. You see it from his serve. It usually is that big hooking ball, but my God, is that dynamic.
Conservative serve there, making Moser play it. Good block by Shields, and the coverage not ready. Kind of pinballed between both of Shields' arms, I believe. The Wizards not underneath it. This third set getting out of hand a little bit quickly on the Windy City Wizards side.
I think both sides recognize it too. I think ICEMEN feel that they can separate so much here that it's ungettable, and I think Wizards know that this is at risk.
Well, the service error there from Hoff will help. Zavala back to the baseline for the Wizards. Looking over to see any more activity on either bench, and I don't see much in the way of other guys preparing to come into the match.
Great serve.
Tough one for Shields on the right side, and he's rejected by Weyerhaeuser. Really good float serving. That 5-to-5 lateral movement by Zavala across the platform window of Klosak.
But the other thing here has been Griffin as the primary attacker, and by that ball moving from right on the screen to left, most likely going to get the mishandle to the left, a farther ball.
Off the block and out of bounds. Love the repeat to Shields.
No doubter, in rhythm, undeniable kill.
Jack McGuire is setting an outstanding match for the Chicago ICEMEN right now. He's contributed from the baseline. Here is Zach Bultice. Does he go at Moser again, 5-to-5?
Got to be ready for middle as primary here.
That's the Wizards off the hook with the second consecutive service error. But the ball very firmly in Windy City's court. Try and do some work on their serve. Coogan, pretty good pressure there. Klosak slowed down by a brilliant block touch. Great opportunity here. Moser comes up short. Tried to go around Shields down the line, and an opportunity not taken advantage of by the Wizards.
Couldn't quite speed up to it.
Is that just a setting lack of chemistry, or is that a new attacker trying to do a little too much, or what?
It's all of the above, really. It takes multiple to kind of miss that bad.
Nice reaction
yes,
there by
Jack.
Swartz. Beautifully fed to the outside. Klosak down the line. That little bit of a jump fake as if he might attack that ball, which McGuire certainly can do. Speaking of setter-hitter connection, man, McGuire to Klosak looks like it's aged like fine wine. Those two have played together for the better part of a decade.
Klosak swinging with so much range, and that set reminded me of Sunil. Most people that jump to draw the block like that almost exclusively do it to set middle.
That is
and
a
both
high
of them,
compliment.
Both of them do it to open up the outside.
Ooh, first kill of the match for Moser. Well done by number 7 in purple off the bench through the block and down.
Jack grabbing his ankle to calf there. I hope it's not a cramp. He's been playing so good.
You mentioned Sunil Thomas. He is here in the building, been dealing with some back issues, but I did see him in warm-ups.
Starting to move around, but still not suited up.
That is just barely out of bounds from the baseline by Moser.
ICEMEN's been a little sloppy since this big lead with the service line. See what Klosak goes with.
Wow, love that movement. Puts so much pressure on Moser, and that ball right on top of the net, tapped down by Swartz. That is just brilliant serving. Really, really smart.
Squally took a little tumble there too. I might consider, I don't know what row they're in quite yet, but that 6-2 brought them energy the last time around. I'm looking to get into that as quickly as possible.
Fiducia in the front court. 2 front court attacking options. Wow. Lightning fast by Weyerhaeuser. Swartz not even off the ground by the time that ball was to the floor. Nice speed from the Wizards offense.
Great run.
Excellent. What a great rip down the line by Rich Hoff, letting that ball cross his shoulders, exploiting that space.
My shoulder hurts watching that swing. That thing was a rubber band snapping it down the line.
17-8. Wizards running out of time here. Let's make this third set a little bit interesting. Another service error from the ICEMEN, but really no harm done.
Moser wanted no piece of that ball. Gave up on it early, praying as he looked back at the back line. I like these subs here. A little bit of energy, switch it up.
So let's see, who do we got coming in off the bench? We have the double sub that we saw in the last set, Ketan and Grigo, and also we have Trey Cowan, number 11, in an outside hitter for Harrington, I believe. Shields blocked and covered. Hoff down the line. Ketan is there. Grigo cross court through the hands of Shields and down.
He's played well, man. I mean, coming in cold, tough roll.
What's your job here, Chandler, if you're coming in off the bench like a bunch of guys just did for the Wizards, given what the score is? What is your goal?
It's the same thing as the last time around. You're giving a different feel and energy onto the court. There's something that these guys did all weekend long, that they brought so much energy in, and that's their role on the court here. It's not necessarily winning the set, but some form of momentum, big momentum plays or scoreboard chipping away that can make a world of difference in the long run.
Wow, just out of bounds. Really good looking offense, but just a little bit too much thumb down side spin by Shields, I think. The ICEMEN disagree. I thought that ball was out in real time.
Yeah, it was definitely out. They were asking about a net. It's always weird when the serve nicks the net because the net is
still
moving.
moving a little bit.
I think they might have gotten away with one there, but I couldn't tell.
We'll see if it gets any more interesting on the scoreboard. Beautiful give and go run to Hoff. Passed, quick footwork to the outside to attack, and exploited the block of Grigo out of bounds into the antenna.
He's so dynamic. Everything's to the left, though. You can't get beat left, so it's a quick set It's a quick approach. You got to make them go thumb down, wrist away, and beat you sharp or something.
The blocker, you mean? You can't be beat down the line?
As a defense together, but yes, as a block.
Ooh, big net touch there by Zavala for the Wizards, following through on his swing. 19-11 Icemen. McGuire has served so smart as I praise him, and he buries a float serve in the middle of the net. But he's targeted the right guys, and he's varied his depth. First look at Trey Cowan, number 11 in purple, 6'4" outside hitter, also out of Dominican University.
All right, one thing I like here, the vet, Dave Hancock on the bench, he's imploring the guys to treat it like it's 0-0 and start to separate here. He knows that there's momentum, there's feel, even though it might be a different starting lineup here in set 4 for the Wizards than the guys on the court right now. Give them nothing. Foot on the gas all the way through. It's going to make set 4 that much easier.
Like that feed from McGuire to Bull Tice. 20 serving 12 for Hoff. Beautiful block by Klosak to take the line away from Grigo.
Although Klosak and Rich Hoff are a little undersized at left side, they have to play in a gym that's so big, and their blocking form is so good.
Yeah, their mechanics are outstanding, and both Klosak and Hoff, Klosak in particular, blocks with his eyes exceptionally well.
Short toss. Yep.
No harm done for the Icemen. All the pressure on the Wizards to make something happen here. And another substitution. Number 3, Daniel Duggan, 6'7" middle blocker out of McKendree.
No limits here. No rules.
I think that's 5 if my count is correct. That ball is served out of bounds. Yeah, they've now switched. Both outside hitters, setter, opposite, middle blocker. I think that's 5 subs. Wizards have 1 more. Here is Bull Tice. Just glances the tape on its way over.
It's on the moon.
Moser stuffed straight down. Oh, wait a minute. No,
Yeah,
that's through. Wow, I couldn't believe that. Apologies, I couldn't see the depth. That's through the block and down on the Icemen side. Thought that Swartz and Shields closed that one up.
Sonny up as a blocker now. Put up a pearl there. Gave him plenty of height. Gonna go out to it. Over the top.
.23 serving 14.
Someone just said OT doesn't count when it's to the back line. It sure as heck does.
Absolutely still counts. Another service error for the Icemen.
There's something about mental discipline when you're up like this to still make competitive serves.
As long as the Icemen's side out doesn't crumble these last couple points, set 3 will be theirs. Moser from the baseline. Wow, McGuire wins the joust against his former collegiate teammate Cowan.
All smiles from the Wizards bench. Laugh it off.
Ethan Klosak now with the honors. Set point Icemen.
Full speed.
Plethora of chances. Yeah, you go for this. Oh, not out by much. Just wide on the wrist away.
Overall, a great set by both the outsides on Iceman's side. I mean, you look at this lead, you would think that Griffin popped off or they got all the middles going, but just great stable play, putting good pressure and great left side play from the Iceman as well.
Brandon Gorzella into serve against set point for the Windy City Wizards, and in emphatic fashion, Rich Hoff delivers the blow to put the Icemen up 2-1 and 1 away from their first ever VLA Cup title.
Rich's shoulder just looks like it has so much life right now. That ball's coming out with some heat.
If I'm not mistaken, Rich Hoff has played every single set of this tournament. The Icemen rode to get here. They started their tournament on Friday afternoon with a North Division Cup final rematch against the St. Louis Stallions, which is a brutal first-round draw, really, for both teams. Icemen got past them, got past the Nash Villains yesterday, got past the Chicago Vibes yesterday afternoon, and then the 5-set classic against the Austin Jam in the semifinals this morning. To come into this championship match at 17-0 on the 2025 season. 8-0 in regular season play, 5-0 at the North Division Cup, 4-0 here at the VLA Cup so far, with only the Tier 1 Championship, our playoff event, left to play May 31st and June 1st in Cincinnati.
Both these teams are so well run. I mean, right as that set ends, they both rally together into these huddles, talking, getting organized, but more than anything, just getting refocused. There's no longer a scoreboard separation, and the first 5 points here are going to be so critical to the stress level, the feel, the confidence that these guys are going to be able to play with right off the bat throughout that carry through the rest of the set.
Very well said, Chandler. We saw so many of the reserves come in on the Windy City Wizards side. Do guys like Harrington, Slavinsky, Coogan, Fiducia even come out explosively with a good start in set number 4? I think that's what both teams really have their eyes on.
Yeah, and I think they will, to be honest. I think at this stage in the weekend, a quick breather can make a world of difference.
100%.
And
quick drink, a little snacks, whatever it takes.
Yeah, and just the way that all those guys play, so explosive. Like, if I'm them, again, you look back at what got you here, like what makes you exceptional. It's your ability to be explosive and play aggressive. So you got to go out swinging here. If I'm the Wizards, I'm confident. I'm slinging this ball around. I'm swinging absolutely fearless, and I'm trying my best. Although the fatigue is there and it's probably hardest from the baseline, I'm taking some hacks, especially in certain rotations where ICEMEN has favorable matchups or multiple options. I got to go out swinging.
Well said. This is a young, explosive, fiery team. Can they dig deep and find something else against their crosstown foe? As it turns out, both VLA Cup trophies this weekend will stay here in the great city of Chicago. Congratulations to the Chicago Sweeties women's team for winning the 18-team VLA Cup women's tournament. The biggest and best in women's VLA history.
Interesting rotation start. Harrington to serve, Slavinsky front left.
And the float service choice by Harrington, which is eaten alive by the ICEMEN reception unit and thrown down by McGuire.
The tank's below empty, but your best chance is not that.
Agreed. The ICEMEN best chance, as they always do, is to start with Parker Swartz at the baseline. Excellent pass by Vasquez. Slavinsky, two-hand jam is rejected by McGuire. Wow, Jack McGuire, if the ICEMEN hold on to win this match, just the way that he has played, he's going to have trash talk fuel against a lot of these Wizards guys that he knows and plays with and against for a long time. Oh, look at that. Look at that thing trickle over the tape, just crawling and falling on the 1-inch line. 3-0 start.
It is interesting. Slavinsky treating this like a topspin, passing at 25, 26 feet in depth. With a float serve, he probably is able to get that.
Inside set to Coogan, slowed down, Klosak is there. Shields to extend, a little conservative, and Harrington makes the play. Slavinsky two-handed again and comes up short. What is happening to the Windy City Wizards offense to start set number 4?
All limping around the court, hurting, body's just hurting. Hold on, guys, come on.
I agree with you, though, Chandler. It's about the decisions that you're making on offense, and sending the ball over with two hands against the Chicago ICEMEN just isn't going to be a recipe for success a lot of the time.
I think that stems from, I don't think it's the mental. I think you're going up to go, and your body just doesn't go as much as it usually does. So then something feels off, so you feel like you need to adjust. It's like become brain dead to that feeling, so that you can still rip, even when you maybe jumped a few inches left or became a little bit less dynamic or balanced. Something about it, just ignore it.
5-1 start for the Chicago ICEMEN. Look at that inside set. George Coogan kept alive by McGuire. Hittable for Klosak to take Fiducia out of the play. Now Coogan again against two blockers. Through the block, Doug out of system practice here for Shields. And that deflection run down by Vasquez.
Middle.
Ball
Not
set
there.
a little too far outside the net. Hoff recycles. Can Shields finally terminate? Not yet. Another good play by Vasquez. Slavinsky off speed.
Dude looks dead over there.
Free ball chance here
Middle,
for the Wizards. Slavinsky's out of the play. Coogan out of bounds, cross court. Not a single ball to the middle of the court in that rally for the Wizards. They trail by 5 and down a set.
Nick asking if they want a timeout, just looking at the fatigue on the court. But the other thing here is Windy City has been so good with left side attack, and when that gets down just a little bit, there's an element of like, what do we do?
Oh, that ball can't be sent back. Slavinsky makes the play on the joust way out of system.
The way Slavinsky does that joust, though, there was a couple times that he shouldn't have done it with the two-hand, but he always starts putting it into the court. So when the blocker pulls, it's not an error. So many times you see someone pulls and they just throw it out of bounds.
Swipe it out of bounds, yeah.
It's so well trained.
Whoa! Look out below. Griffin Shields gonna get a bill for property damage after that swing. My goodness.
Steep.
Yeah, that was big time. Him and Fiducia are having a laugh about it. Like, Pasquale had no chance. 7-2 ICEMEN start. As good as this team has been throughout the existence of the VLA, oh my goodness, no way. Pasquale and Fiducia just turned around and one-hand Kong blocked the overpass swing of Boltais.
Out of desperation, just like
Wow.
throwing up a paw and
Yeah.
getting it. Big laugh with him and Griffin talking back and forth. Just measuring their arms here quick.
That was an answered prayer for sure, but I will say that over the course of his career, Fiducia's front court joust and record and plays like that is pretty much unmatched as Shields responds off the block and out of bounds. But to finish a thought, the ICEMEN have accomplished just about everything in Volleyball League of America history. League championships, divisional cup tournament championships. But this tournament, the big one, the VLA Cup, has eluded them. Maybe until now. Nice.
More of that,
feed.
more of that.
I agree, more of that. You see the lateral drift from Weyerhaeuser jumping to his left to create space.
Especially when it's Weyerhaeuser in the front row. One, I think he just wants the ball more, and they're used to setting him more. But his length and size, there's space there. Like, you need something else to kind of put you back over the top. I think that's what it is.
Wow, look at that one-on-one block move by Pasquale Fiducia. Klosak might have jumped a little early, but gotta give credit to number 26 in purple.
Stay pesky here. Stay pesky. Make him get you.
That might reignite the energy that you've talked about so much, Chandler, on the Windy City bench. Nice short float serve. Repeated. Fiducia gets another good touch against Klosak. Can he do it again? Yes. McGuire to Shields. Off the fingertips of Harrington. I like that swing, throwing the thumb down the line.
I thought if Windy City could have scored one more there, it would have become for sure a Griffin type of ball, where then you can kind of feel where you know where they're going and stay one step ahead. But they haven't been able to pinch ICEMEN into a rotation, so Jack keeps them on their toes or keeps them guessing. They're not able to hold them frozen, you know?
I'm curious if one of these teams is going to have the confidence to get the BIC back involved in the game, especially in system. Maybe Fiducia on the Wizards side just trying to save his outside attacker's legs because he knows he's going to need him out of system. Rotation 4, receive on the ICEMEN side. McGuire, the front court setter. Rare float service error by Fiducia.
Seems to be a change of strategy from the service line. Exclusively floats, for the most part, been not in certain locations.
Ooh, no doubles in the VLA. That ball's still alive. Harrington kicks it over. And a good block by Coogan initiates the chase down. Now a free ball sent over by Shields. Oh no, and then a misconnect in the middle. Fiducia trying to go to Zavala. That had no chance.
Griffin with the look there like, what, me? I'm back row.
What do you want me to do with this ball? I think Ben Harrington needs to be familiarized with the rules. If the ball is played in overhead setting in one motion and it stays on the team's same side, we will never call a double contact in the VLA. Coogan there through the block of McGuire and down. Gets Windy City out of rotation 1, and now Moser is going to come in again for Slavinsky. This has to just be a fatigue substitution.
I've been in that huddle before. They took a little pseudo huddle in between points there. They looked at each other like, you got enough legs? You got legs? Like, nobody had legs.
I was at the Central Division Cup final last year, Chandler, in Cincinnati, when you and the Milwaukee Dive were down 0-2 against the River City Flow and fought all the way back to force a fifth. And that was probably a sort of situation where that legs conversation happened more than a few times.
Yeah, I know it's for both our squads, too. We both went in a little lacking depth, but just so talented, so high level of play.
Honestly, I'm not even sure who called this timeout just now. I assume it's the Wizards based on the scoreboard. But maybe just another chance to a little pit stop quickly and refuel whatever you can get in the bodies here.
Just see a lot of the guys on the Wizards just breathing. They're just practicing breathing together.
Which is just not what this team has looked like all weekend long. This team has been buzzing, especially from the bench. Maybe that's something that can get them going, is just insisting that the energy come from the guys who are not in the lineup right now. But the Chicago ICEMEN, this is as good of a chance as they're going to have to win this tournament, maybe ever. Up 2-1, up 5 in set number 4. Can they smell blood in the water and go in for the kill here?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. You looked at the first 2 sets. It was before the 20s. It was almost in the late teens. I think it's happening here a little bit earlier in set 4, but like these are the critical rows, the chance to really close the door early.
Perfect pass by Vasquez out of the timeout. Zavala in the middle. Hits it out of bounds wide, dropping the shoulder a little bit.
I think it's the right recipe, just poor execution.
Swartz again. Moser into the match on the give and go. Excellent dig by Swartz, the middle blocker.
Good ball.
Big platform set overhead to Shields, but he overruns that ball just a little bit and comes up short.
Sometimes when these matches get the separated points too, the adrenaline goes down just a touch. So with that last set being so separated, now the fatigue is like amplified or multiplied.
Perfect pass by Merck. Nobody
There
up
you
on
go.
Shields again. What a piece of setting by Jack McGuire. Again, exploiting the aggressiveness of the Windy City blockers on the pins. You just can't give Griffin Shields a wide open net if you're Moser coming in to block just off the bench. You want to make a play against the middle and be helpful to your middle blocker. You've got to stay with your guy. Oh, another stuff block. Zach Boltice comes over to shut the door on Coogan with Hoff there as well. It is 15-8 Chandler North.
Hoff does a really good job there, chopping it off early. Just a moment inside of a set for a right-handed player. If he's going to cut that ball back, Merck's all over it. So to set it up in the right spot, middle gets all the credit when their hands are on it. But
speaking of setup and being in the right spot, help block from Griffin Shields, him and Boltice clamp Weyerhaeuser. It is 16-8. Jack McGuire for the ICEMEN, missing so many usual pieces, but a program that is built on such depth, chemistry.
oh, I like it.
I like that inside run, yeah. Throw some creativity out there, why not? And the double sub is going to come in for the Windy City Wizards, Keaton and Grigo. Did a really good job in changing the momentum and helping the Wizards win set number 2, but they've got a mountain to climb right here.
Definitely look fresher, though.
Perfect pass by Hoff. Maybe a little too tight of a pass, but a fantastic rescue. One-handed delivery by McGuire. And Hoff takes care of it down the line. Beautiful play by Jack McGuire. How good of a match is he playing right now?
Yeah, how good of a tournament is he playing?
Absolutely.
How often do the ICEMEN guys have the chance to play one match a day or on and off? Like, it's been a lot on Jack's shoulders. He's played so well all day.
Griffin Shields, on that subject, Chandler, Griffin Shields, the superstar opposite for Chicago, did not play volleyball yesterday. He sat comfortably while backup opposite Stone Metz, who has been awesome in addition for the ICEMEN this year, played both matches yesterday and was allowed them to save Griffin to be the workhorse today. Trey Cowan in off the bench again for the Windy City Wizards. Harrington and Slavinsky both on the bench right now. Cross
Fearless
court.
rip.
Katan is there. Oh, look at that little flick follow through by Klosak. Nice patience to wait until it got to his side. (18-10). The ICEMEN can taste it.
31-5 ball. Take a look at where Parker goes. Set the opposite.
He does set the opposite. Off the platform, though, 2 blockers are there. Pretty good recycle. Now Weyerhaeuser sends it over. Shields, that ball a little low. Wow, and almost accidental recycle to give Klosak a chance. Katan is there down the line. Ooh, Chandler, you brought it up earlier. That swipe when the blocker isn't there ends up being an error if you don't initiate the joust, but that one's just called a lift straight up because it wasn't contacted by the opposing block.
I mean, how often do the youth see it on Instagram and YouTube in just a 5-second reel? It doesn't give the how-to or the coaching behind it. Tip it into the court until someone's there and stops you. If they're not there, then you can start to move it.
And Grigo runs out of space there. That ball too far outside the antenna. It is 20-10. And now it would take a miracle to stop the ICEMEN from improving to 18-0. 2 trophies in 2 tournaments. And already a divisional title. It is looking like it's the ICEMEN's weekend. The #1 seed in this tournament just might be keeping the trophy here in I was about to call it the Windy City, not to be confused with their opponents.
Just so impressive from everyone within their gym so far this season. So steady, so together, and just no matter what curveball gets thrown their way, you're playing someone who's massive in size, like Asu Jam is. You're playing someone young and explosive. You're playing with a different lineup construction than what you would have thought you'd go into the weekend as. Like, it doesn't matter. These guys just persevere throughout.
What Tim Faulkner has built for the Chicago ICEMEN program is nothing short of amazing, and a city that is great for volleyball. He has lots of talent to pull from, but you mentioned earlier, Chandler, the guys who built this program and the opportunity for those that might be about to win this tournament, and the concerted effort that it has taken for the ICEMEN to get younger, to bring in a guy like a Parker Swartz who just scored there, to bring in Rich Hoff, pretty fresh off of graduation, to have another outstanding setter option in Jack McGuire. All of these things are intentional in the way the team is built from sort of the general management perspective, and then how good they are in practice and how well they execute the game plans that they have. Great block move by Klosak. Shields chooses to start the offense in free ball form. Pretty good touch there by Weyerhaeuser against Klosak. Cowan, what a dig by Bultice, the middle blocker. Oh, but Klosak comes up short. (11 serving 21). It's got to come from the baseline now for the Wizards. That'll help. Out of system swing from Klosak. That is hit out of bounds over the fingertips of the block. No touch. Well done there by Weyerhaeuser.
No worries, no panic if you're ICEMEN. So be it.
Ooh, Weyerhaeuser comes up short. That is an error that you cannot afford. 22-12. Chandler, I think we might need to start talking about when, not if, Chicago ICEMEN win the 2025 VLA Cup, and who is going to have the honors to deal the killing blow. Now this is something we haven't seen. Grigo and Katan are going to stay in in the backcourt and the front court respectively. Sanchit Ketan, about 5'10", a much shorter blocker. We've only seen him in the backcourt so far. Sure enough, McGuire sets right over him, and they get a good slow down touch. Oh, what a block against Cowan. And that is
the right call.
Yeah, say double contact. 2 distinct touches on the cover, the accidental cover, and then the scoop. Beautiful blocking. I think McGuire will get credit for that one. 23-13. The Icemen are 2 points away. Pretty good stab pass by Moser. Cowan down the line is dug by Shields. But dug right up into Cowan's window, and he takes care of it.
Sometimes Merck is so fun to watch, where he just is out of place in the right spot with the right read. Worked not to his advantage there.
Merck is fun to watch. That I will always agree with. Perfect pass there, or tight pass. McGuire wins the joust, now finds himself blocking in the middle. What a scoop by Merck right on cue. Joust, won by Ketan.
No look.
No look bump set by
Gets
Merck to
the block.
Shields. Fooled the blockers, and now a bit of a miscommunication on the chase down. Merck is having a great time, and why not?
He was getting bored out there. He wanted to make the play, diving into the court, and got beat. And then the dig to the set over to Griffin. He just added a little spice to it.
Colin Merck is something else, and his Chicago Icemen are on the doorstep of their first ever VLA Cup tournament championship. Parker Swartz on match point, misses it out of bounds. 9 match point chances.
Match point.
Zavala, Klosak, McGuire on the joust play! And that is it. An inspired effort by the Windy City Wizards from seed 39. But the undefeated and perfect season continues. The Chicago Icemen are the 2025 Men's VLA Cup champions.
Just so impressive. Steady throughout all 4 sets, just like what they've been all season long. Just so many options, so together through it all. Didn't matter the punches that Windy City threw. They were ready, they responded, and quite frankly, they dominated set 3 and 4.
Yeah, sets 3 and 4 became kind of non-competitive quickly, and that's because of the cleanliness of volleyball and the level of execution that the Icemen were able to sustain through 5 matches across 3 days. And the way that they used their depth, the way that, again, allowing Griffin Shields to take all of yesterday off to then shoulder the load today to get the Icemen over the finish line, I would have to assume that MVP honors will go to Griffin Shields at the opposite position for the Chicago Icemen. But incredible performances up and down that roster. Rich Hoff had a great tournament. Jack McGuire had a great tournament. Colin Merck anchored the defense as he always does. And I know how sweet this one is for the Icemen. 2nd place in this event last year, 3rd place in this event back in 2022. But now the cup is theirs.
So proud for Tim Falconer. Just an excellent job. I mean, they've earned everything that they've gotten through this season. It goes without mentioning the veterans and the leadership that have created in their gym and their culture.
Scott Sawicki, Kyle
it's here
Overby,
to stay.
Dave Hancock, Lewis Richard, guys that aren't even playing right now but are such a huge part of what this team has done this year and in building to get to this year. And it's going to taste sweet for the Chicago Icemen team, as there is now one thing left to do for this program this year, and that is the Tier 1 Championship Tournament just north of Cincinnati, Ohio, May 31st and June 1st to cap off the season, as Tim Falconer, the captain and founder of this franchise, triumphantly signs the Icemen name on the champion line of the bracket banner. And now League Director of Operations Vince Sanzuki will present the 2025 VLA Cup trophy to the Chicago Icemen. Chandler North, incredible work on the call today, my friend. Great to have you help punctuate this great tournament, the biggest in league history at 62 teams. Any closing thoughts for the people as we take a break for the month of May, and we'll see them in Cincinnati at the championship event?
Yeah, absolutely. If you haven't experienced one of these cups before, come watch. It's different in person, and there's so many good matches throughout the weekend. If you're a volleyball fan, it's just such a great place to be. And then my last thing is, just look at the growth in the league and where it's going. What is this event going to look like next year? We're at 62 this year. How many teams and how's it going to look? How's it going to feel? It's so exciting to see where the league's going.
Well, you all should want to be a part of that. It is a big couple weeks for men's volleyball. Obviously, the news that many of you heard, terrible news for the men's volleyball community with the cutting of the Grand Canyon University program just about 2 weeks ago. Now we're in the middle of the men's NCAA tournament with the championship match to be played tomorrow. We're really hoping for fantastic viewership on that event. If you can't go to Columbus, Ohio to watch it, definitely tune in on ESPN2. But it also is important to support what we're doing here at the VLA. This thing is growing. You should all want to be a part of it here or afar, wherever you're watching. We very much appreciate you and your support. Congratulations again to the Chicago ICEMEN, and a tremendous shout out to all the mothers in the world who have sacrificed much of their time and much of their sons' and daughters' time to be here this weekend playing this event. Happy Mother's Day to you all. One last congratulations to the Chicago ICEMEN, and thank you all for watching. For Chandler North, my name's Rob St. Clair signing off. We will see you in, I believe it's 3 weeks, for the championship event in Cincinnati, Ohio to close out the 2025 season.
Good stuff. Fun as always.